Happy Saturday, guys. So today we're going to be working on this 1988 Snapper Push Mower. I got it from my grandpa when he moved, and I went through the entire engine, repainted it, new stickers, went through the deck, painted the underside with like 3 coats of Rust-Oleum, painted everything, did all this work to it, and when it came down to painting the front, I just got burned out on it, and it's been sitting in my side yard for about 2 years. And unfortunately it has had gas in it, so it smells of old gas. But here's the original owner's manual, the engine manual, and the receipt for it for $399.95 in March of 1988. So let's get it back up and running here, and I'll start tearing that carburetor out of there and get it to kick over once more. So let's get to it. Alright, so we got the carburetor off. I can't remember why on earth I painted it. I've learned to never really paint the carburetors because they always just get covered in gas and oil, and then all your paint falls off, and then what's the point of painting it when that happens? But it does smell of old gas, and I would not recommend using the high heat barbecue paint, which is what I painted this block with. I'm almost tempted to take it off and repaint it with the automotive grade exhaust paint. And I promise I won't get burned out on it this time, but the quality of it over just sitting is just terrible. So let's get this carburetor apart and get into it. And if you haven't already, I would highly recommend you guys pick yourselves up a parts tray from Harbor Freight for 10 bucks with the little hood, because all these little bolts and things they go away really fast, and those keep track of it. Wouldn't you agree? He agrees. So 10 bucks, you don't lose your bolts. That's a hell of a deal. Alright, let's get to this carburetor. Alright, that's what was in the bowl. That's some ripe stuff right there. So let's get that cleaned out and shoot some carb cleaner in there, let that soak, get that all blown out, and get her back into running here. Alright, so I blew off the carburetor with carb spray, and here's the bowl. It still has the high heat white on it. And it just kind of melts. It is actually holding up okay, but it just melts off. Melts right off of there. This is the original paint that's on it. Probably a nice enamel, gas resistant. But I'm just going to put it on just like this because it's underneath the air cleaner cover. And probably the first goal is just to get it up and running and put it into a mower again, and then we'll decide if maybe later on we want to paint the engine on it, but I'm sure just after a good bath it'll look just fine. So let's stick this back on. Oh, and we better clean out the gas tank too, or else all this work will be for nothing. Here's a quick tip. Whenever you guys are cleaning out these carburetors, be careful when you're spraying carburetor cleaner near those plastic components, because I've had some like melt on me. And also, if you're gonna like soak the carburetor, take out that butterfly there and then pull that whole shaft out before you soak it, because the chemicals might not be so friendly to plastic components. And since I've been going through so much carburetor cleaner lately, I just bought a whole case from my local hardware store, and since I bought a case, they gave me a discount, so I was only paying $5 a can for 6 cans compared to like $6.99 a can. So there's a good tip for you guys too. Alright, let's get this back onto the machine. Alright, we got the carburetor back on, and here's the underside of the deck. Like I said, it hasn't been used since I redid it. Brand new blade, and paint seems to be holding up really well. I wish I could say the same for that engine. But it cleaned up okay. There wasn't very much left in the gas tank. And I did dribble some oil down into the spark plug, and I'm gonna crank it over by hand a couple times to lubricate the cylinder before I try firing it, since it's been sitting for so long. And on these, you have to put your foot on the deck and clasp the safety switch handle, because right now the flywheel's locked with that little brake. So let's crank it over a couple times, then we'll come back and see if it'll start for us. Alright, let's see if she'll start up. I put some gas in the tank, turn the valve on, and we'll give her a yank and see what happens. Alright, well, looks like it started, but does need a little bit more help in the carburetor area, so I'm going to take that apart again and clean it, probably soak it, just to make sure we get all the nastiness out of it. But that probably hasn't fired in over a year and a half, so that's promising. I also need to pop that starter off and lube the spring in it, because that's frustrating also. But I'll do that. But in the meantime, probably keep painting the front end and putting that back together again, and then probably soaking the bag in some Dawn soap to make it white again, and then we'll put her back into service in my front yard and backyard for that matter. So thanks for watching, guys, and there'll be some more updates about this in the future. Thanks for commenting and subscribing, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.